Aliens feared human space, until they finally learned the reason why. Part 1. The warning zone. Captain Zarkonian stood on the bridge of his ship, the Stellar Whisper. His forearms gripped the command rail tightly. The star map in front of him showed a region marked in deep red. Every alien child in the Galactic Federation knew about this zone. The death space, the silent boundary. Human territory. "Captain, we are approaching the border," Zex announced from the navigation station. The young officer's blue skin had turned pale green with fear. "Should we really do this?" Zarkonian's 3 eyes focused on the boundary line. For 50 years, no ship had returned from human space. The Galactic Federation Council had sent probe after probe. Nothing came back. Ships full of brave explorers entered and vanished. No distress signals. No debris fields. No final messages. Just silence. "We have our orders," Zarkonian said, trying to keep his voice steady. "The Council needs answers. Too many ships have disappeared. 23 vessels in the last year alone." The communication officer, a thin Velian named Tekmar, shivered at his station. "Captain, the stories say humans eat other species. They say human space is full of traps, black holes they create, weapons that erase you from existence." "Stories," Zarkonian repeated, though he believed them too. "Raise shields to maximum. Charge all defensive systems. If we see any human ship, we retreat immediately." The Stellar Whisper moved forward slowly. Every meter closer to the border made the crew more nervous. Zarkonian watched his officers. Good people, all of them. They trusted him. He had brought them to what might be their death. "Crossing the border now," Zex whispered. Everyone held their breath. They waited for alarms, for attacks, for their ship to simply stop existing. Instead, something unexpected happened. The communication panel lit up like a festival. Hundreds of signals flooded their systems. "Captain," Tekmar shouted, "we are receiving—" "Messages? Many messages." "Hostile warnings?" Zarkonian asked, reaching for the weapon controls. "No, sir. They say—" Tekmar looked confused. "They say, 'Welcome to human space. Please proceed to Checkpoint Alpha for visitor registration.' There are also messages about duty-free shopping and something called a frequent visitor program." Before anyone could respond, a cheerful voice filled the bridge. "Hello there. This is Checkpoint Alpha. We see you're new here. Please follow the guide lights to our processing station. Sarah Chun from Customs and Immigration will be happy to help you." Green lights appeared in space, forming a clear path toward a small station. Zarkonian looked at his crew. They looked back at him. This was not what they expected. "It must be a trap," Zex said. "They lure ships in with false friendship." "Maybe," Zarkonian agreed. "But we need answers. Follow the lights. Keep shields up." The station grew larger as they approached. It looked ... normal, even welcoming. Bright lights spelled out "Welcome" in 40 different languages. Small ships moved around it peacefully. Some looked like merchant vessels. Others were clearly alien designs, but they moved freely. No signs of damage or distress. They docked carefully. Zarkonian took Zex with him, leaving the others ready to escape. The airlock opened to reveal a single human. She was small, with black hair tied back and a bright smile. She wore a simple uniform with a name tag reading Sarah Chun, here to help. "Welcome to human space," Sarah said warmly. "First time visiting? How exciting. Can I see your identification? We just need to register you in our system." Zarkonian and Zex exchanged looks. Where were the weapons? The guards? The prison cells? "You want to register us?" Zarkonian asked carefully. "Of course. Standard procedure. It helps us help you better. Oh, would you like some coffee? Tea? We have Veli and nether wine too, if you prefer. We are here to investigate, Zarkonian said firmly. Our ships keep disappearing in human space. 23 vessels entered and never returned. What did you do to them? Sarah's face lit up with understanding. Oh, that's why you're so tense. I know exactly what happened to those ships. She laughed, a sound that somehow made both aliens more nervous and more relaxed at the same time. They didn't disappear. They just didn't want to leave. What? Zex asked. You hold them prisoner? Prisoner? Sarah looked genuinely shocked. No. They stayed because they liked it here. Come on, let me show you. This is all just a big misunderstanding. She turned and walked into the station, completely unafraid of the 2 armed aliens behind her. Zarkonian followed, his mind spinning. Either this was the strangest trap ever made, or something impossible was happening in human space. Asterisk. Sarah led them through bright corridors filled with plants from different worlds. The air smelled of flowers Zarkonian didn't recognize. They passed windows showing the vast space beyond, and then Sarah stopped at a transport pad. New Mumbai station is just a quick jump away, she said, stepping onto the pad. That's where most of your missing ships ended up. Don't worry, it's perfectly safe. Before Zarkonian could protest, the world blurred. They materialized in what looked like an impossible dream. The station was huge, bigger than some moons. But it wasn't the size that shocked him. It was the people. Everywhere he looked, aliens walked freely. A group of Kurathans, known for their aggressive trading, stood at a market stall. They weren't fighting or demanding. They were laughing with a human vendor. The human, an older man with a name tag reading Junghun, was teaching them to use chopsticks. This is impossible, Zex whispered. His scanner was working overtime, checking for mind control, drugs, neural implants, anything. Captain, I detect nothing. No control mechanisms. These aliens are here willingly. A Vroken warrior walked past. Vrokens were 2 meters tall, covered in natural armor, bred for war. This one carried no weapons. Instead, it held a cup of something steaming and a bag marked Min Jun's Bakery, fresh daily. The warrior noticed them staring and waved a friendly claw. First-timers always have that look, Sarah said with a smile. Let me introduce you to someone who can explain better. She led them to an outdoor cafe. Trees from 12 different planets grew together, their branches tangled in impossible harmony. At a table sat someone Zarkonian recognized immediately. Captain Zircon of the Federation Scout Service. He had disappeared 20 years ago on an investigation mission. Zircon! Zarkonian rushed forward. You're alive. Are you well? Are you free to leave? Zircon laughed, a deep rumbling sound. His green scales shimmered with health. He looked better than ever. Zarkonian, they sent you to find us too? Sit. Seo Yan makes the best fusion food in 3 galaxies. A human woman appeared with a warm smile. Seo Yan placed plates on the table without being asked. The food smelled incredible, combining spices from Earth with ingredients from Zarkonian's home world. How did she know? Zircon, what happened? Zarkonian demanded. 20 years. Your family thinks you're dead. They know I'm alive, Zircon said, taking a bite of his meal. I send them messages every week. I even visited last year. But I came back here. Why? Zex asked, still scanning everything suspiciously. Zircon put down his fork. Do you know what happened when I first arrived? I came in weapons hot, shields at maximum, ready for the trap. You know what the humans did? They invited me to dinner. Not a state dinner, not a formal meeting. Sarah's grandmother was having a birthday party. They invited me, a stranger who came to investigate them, to celebrate with the family. That single quotes S. Zarkonian struggled for words. That's their strategy? They feed you? No, they befriend you, Zircon corrected. Look around. Really look. Zarkonian watched the station's daily life. A human child ran past, playing tag with a young Milokian. Their parents sat together, comparing photos on their devices. A group of mixed species were matching uniforms. Apparently, a sports team called Station United. At another table, aliens and humans argued passionately about something called football, but their anger dissolved into laughter when someone made a joke. They don't conquer, Zircon continued. They include. Every species that comes here finds something they never knew they needed. Community without conditions. Friendship without politics. But the Federation says human space is dangerous. Zex protested. It is, Zircon admitted. Dangerously comfortable. Dangerously welcoming. Once you experience it, everywhere else feels cold. A notification appeared on Sarah's device. Oh, perfect timing. There's a cultural festival starting in the main plaza. Food from 90 different worlds. You should come. The plaza was packed with beings from across the galaxy. Stalls offered free samples. Musicians played impossible fusion songs. A Kurathan performed a traditional dance, while humans clapped along. Jung-hoon was teaching alien children to make kimchi. Min-jun's bakery stall had a line stretching around the corner, with species that didn't even eat bread waiting to try his latest creation. This is what happened to our ships? Zarkonian asked in disbelief. Every one of them, Sarah confirmed. Captain Velter runs a shipping company now. Commander Thrix opened a martial arts school. The crew of the Nebula Striker started a band. They're actually pretty good. Zex had stopped scanning. He was watching a cooking demonstration where Seo Yeon mixed impossible ingredients from different worlds, creating something that made every species in the audience salivate. How? Was all he could ask. Sarah's eyes sparkled with amusement. Come on, Admiral Peterson wants to meet you. She can explain better than anyone. Zarkonian expected to be taken to a military command center. Instead, Sarah led them to a garden dome. Real soil, not hydroponics. Plants from dozens of worlds grew side by side. The air was thick with life and strange perfumes. An elderly human woman knelt in the dirt, carefully transplanting a Velian thornflower next to an earth rose. Around her, several aliens worked the garden. A massive Gorathan, whose species was known for destroying worlds, delicately pruned a fruit tree with claws that could tear through steel. Admiral, Sarah called. The investigators from the Federation are here. Admiral Peterson stood slowly, brushing dirt from her knees. She had white hair, laugh lines around her eyes, and hands stained with soil. This was humanity's military leader? Welcome, Peterson said warmly. Sorry for the dirt. The Andromedan Lele needed repotting. Tricky things, but so beautiful when they bloom. Would you like some tea? Before anyone could answer, she was pouring cups from a thermos. The tea smelled of earth mint mixed with something alien and soothing. You must be confused, Peterson said, sitting on a garden bench. Everyone is at first. You expect conquerors and find gardeners. You expect weapons and find kitchens. You expect invasion and get invitation. This is a trick, Zex said firmly. No species is this peaceful. Peterson laughed. Peaceful? Oh no, we're not peaceful. We're aggressively friendly. There's a difference. I don't understand, Zarkonian admitted. When humanity first reached the stars, Peterson began, we were terrified. The galaxy was full of older, stronger species. We had two choices. Try to fight everyone, or make everyone want to be our friend. Guess which one we picked? She pointed to a datapad on the table. It showed historical records. First contact protocols from other species versus human protocols. While others prepared weapons, humans prepared gift baskets. While others sent warriors, humans sent chefs, musicians, and comedians. Our first contact with the Carathan Empire, Peterson continued. They came to assess us for conquest. We invited them to a food festival. 3 days later, they were teaching us their recipes and asking for our cookbook. The Melokians came with a war fleet. We sent them a cargo ship full of toys for their children and entertainment programs. Their kids loved Earth cartoons so much, the parents couldn't attack us without facing rebellion at home. Jung-hoon appeared with a tray of snacks. The smell made even Zex's disciplined mind wander. Each item was specially chosen, including treats from Zarkonians and Zex's home worlds, prepared fresh. But the Makari, Zarkonian said, remembering, they attacked your colony on Kepler 442. They killed humans. Yes, Peterson's face grew serious. They did. Do you know what we did in response? You destroyed them? We sent relief supplies, Peterson said simply. The Makari were desperate. Their sun was dying, crops failing. They attacked us for resources. So we gave them what they needed. No conditions. No demands for surrender. Just help. Zex nearly dropped his scanner. You helped your attackers? And now the Makari ran the best security firm in human space, Sarah added. They're very protective of the people who saved their species. Min-jun arrived with a box. Admiral, the new fusion bread worked. Combines earth wheat with Talaxian grain. Even species with gluten intolerance can eat it. Peterson clapped her hands with genuine joy. Excellent. Make sure the recipe gets to all stations. This is your weapon, Zarkonian said slowly. Kindness. You weaponized kindness. Not weaponized, Peterson corrected. Weaponizing implies using it for harm. We specialized in it. Every human child learns basic xenopsychology, cooking with alien ingredients, how to make friends across species barriers. Our military budget mostly goes to cultural exchange programs. She showed them more records. Trade agreements that favored alien partners. Technology shared freely. Medical aid given without payment. Entertainment produced in alien languages. Humans learning thousands of alien customs to avoid giving offense. The tyrannic swarm, Zarkonian said suddenly. They're heading this way. Devourers of worlds. You can't befriend them. Peterson smiled. They arrive tomorrow. We're ready. With what fleet? Zex demanded. With what they've never encountered, Sizio Yan said, joining them. A species that feeds them willingly. The tyrannics consume because they're always hungry. No one ever asked if they'd prefer sustainable food sources. That's insane, Zarkonian said flatly. That's human, Zircon corrected. They see every threat as a potential friend having a bad day. It shouldn't work. But it does. Peterson stood, looking at the garden around them. Every plant here was a gift from a different species. Each one thought humans were weak for caring about such things. Now their children play in our gardens. We didn't conquer the galaxy, Captain. We adopted it. Asterisk the next morning, alarms echoed through New Mumbai Station. But they weren't panic alarms. They sounded almost ... cheerful. Attention, everyone. Sarah's voice rang out. The tyrannic swarm will arrive in 2 hours. Welcome teams to positions. Kitchen staff, please begin final preparations. Remember, first impressions matter. Zarkonian found Sarah in the command center. Instead of tactical displays, screens showed recipes, food preparation schedules, and something called feeding guidelines for hive minds. You're all going to die, Zarkonian said bluntly. The tyrannics have consumed 43 worlds. They don't negotiate. They don't stop. They only feed. Exactly. Sarah said brightly. They only know feeding. No one has ever tried feeding them voluntarily. Jung-hoon, is the kimchi ready? Jung-hoon nodded from his station. 5,000 gallons, fermented specially with high-energy bacteria. If their digestive systems are anything like our models predict, they'll love it. This is madness, Zex muttered. Captain, we should leave. Now. But Zarkonian was watching the humans work. No fear, no hesitation. They prepared for the galaxy's greatest threat, like they were preparing for a dinner party. Space rippled. The tyrannic swarm emerged from hyperspace like a living nightmare. Billions of creatures, each the size of a fighter craft, moving as one massive organism. They had stripped entire systems bare, leaving nothing but empty space. The swarm paused, probably confused. Every other species either fled or fought. The humans were doing neither. Instead, massive cargo ships launched from the station, heading straight toward the swarm. Broadcasting now, Min-jun announced. All frequencies, all languages, including biochemical signals. The message was simple. Welcome to human space. You look hungry. We brought food. The cargo ships opened their holds. The space between the station and the swarm filled with offerings. Not debris or weapons, but actual food. Thousands of tons of it. Preserved fruits from 50 worlds. Fermented vegetables. Bread that stayed fresh in vacuum. Synthetic proteins designed for maximum nutrition. The swarm stopped advancing. In their billion-year history, nothing had ever fed them willingly. One creature broke from the swarm, approaching cautiously. It consumed a floating container of Seo Yan's fusion cuisine. The creature shuddered, then released biochemical signals that translated roughly to more. They like it. Sarah cheered. Stage 2, everyone. The screens lit up with cooking shows. Humans demonstrating agriculture. Videos of food growing, being harvested, being prepared. The entire swarm's attention focused on the broadcasts. A bioship, the swarm's communication node, extended toward the station. The humans had prepared for this too. A special dock opened, filled with appetizers docked through the bioship. The swarm spoke for the first time in recorded history. You? Give food? Not fight? Not run? We give food, Admiral Peterson responded, having arrived in the command center. And better, we can teach you to make your own. Infinite food, sustained forever. Impossible. Worlds have limited food. Must consume, move on. That's because you've been doing it wrong, Seo Yan said cheerfully. She stepped forward with a projection showing farming cycles. You eat everything at once. But if you eat carefully, things grow back. Better yet, if you help things grow, you get more food. The swarm's collective mind struggled with this concept. Show, prove, Min-jun pulled up stellar maps. These 12 systems have planets perfect for agriculture. No intelligent life. We'll teach you to farm them. Crops from hundreds of worlds. You'll never go hungry again. Why? The swarm asked. Why help devourers? Because you're not devourers, Peterson said gently. You're just hungry. There's a difference. Anyone can learn to cook. Over the next 6 hours, humans taught the tyrannic swarm about sustainable farming. Jung-hoon demonstrated kimchi fermentation on a massive scale. The swarm was fascinated by the concept of beneficial bacteria. Min-jun showed them how to make bread using the natural yeasts present on their bioships. Seo Yan taught them crop rotation, but the swarm's biochemical signals grew increasingly excited. They had never imagined food could be created, only consumed. The concept of growing, of waiting, of cultivation, it changed everything. This changes everything, the swarm admitted. We consumed because we knew only consumption. You show creation. That's the human way, Zircon told Zarkonian quietly. They don't see enemies. They see people who haven't learned a better way yet. By the end of the day, the tyrannic swarm had agreed to try farming. Half their number would go to the offered systems to begin cultivation. The other half would stay near human space to learn more recipes. You turned the greatest threat in the galaxy into farmers, Zarkonian said in disbelief. We turned hungry beings into fed beings, Sarah corrected. Much easier to be friendly when you're not starving. 3 weeks had passed since Zarkonian arrived in human space. 3 weeks that felt like a lifetime. He stood in his temporary quarters, looking at the report he needed to send to the Galactic Federation Council. How could he explain what he had seen? How could he make them understand that humanity's greatest weapon was a smile and a hot meal? A knock at his door interrupted his thoughts. Zex entered, but he looked different. Relaxed. He was wearing a casual Earth shirt with alien writing that said, "My other spaceship is a food truck." "Captain," Zex said, then paused. "I've been invited to join a gaming club. They play something called Dungeons and Dragons, but modified for multiple species. The dungeon master is a Vroken. Can you imagine? A Vroken telling stories instead of making war?" "Zex, we have a mission," Zarkonian reminded him. "I know. But Captain, when did you last enjoy your work? When did you last laugh with your crew without worrying about protocol?" Before Zarkonian could answer, his communicator buzzed. The ship's engineer, Talvara, was calling from Minjun's bakery. "Captain, you must try this. Minjun created a bread using flour from our home world. It tastes like my grandmother's festival cakes." Through the window, Zarkonian could see the station's daily life. A Tyrannix creature was carefully tending to a small garden, following Siuyun's instructions. Former enemies worked side by side. Children of a dozen species played together. Sarah found him an hour later in the observation deck. "Heavy thoughts?" she asked, offering him a cup of his planet's traditional evening tea. "How did you know?" he asked, accepting the warm cup. "Lucky guess?" she smiled. "Also, Jung-Hoo noticed you like this blend. He made extra." "That's what I don't understand," Zarkonian said. "You pay attention. To everyone. Every species, every individual. How do you remember it all?" "We don't always," Sarah admitted. "But we try. That's what friendship is. Paying attention to what matters to others. The Federation thinks you're dangerous." "We are," Sarah said simply. "We're dangerously kind. We're aggressively caring. We're unstoppably friendly. Once you've experienced real community, everything else feels empty." Admiral Peterson joined them, along with Zircon. "Captain, have you decided what to report?" Zarkonian pulled up his draft. It read, "Human space is extremely dangerous. Do not approach unless prepared to never leave. They will feed you. They will befriend you. They will make you feel at home. Resistance is futile, but unnecessary. Why resist when you can have pizza?" "Pizza?" Peterson asked with a laugh. "Zircon introduced me," Zarkonian explained. "It shouldn't work. Bread, fermented milk, fruits and vegetables, sometimes meat, all heated together. But it does. Like humanity. It shouldn't work, but it does. So you're staying?" Sarah asked hopefully. "My crew has already decided," Zarkonian admitted. Talvara enrolled in culinary school. My medical officer joined a cross-species medical research team. Zex has 3 game nights scheduled. Even our most paranoid security officer has started taking yoga classes from your Captain Velter. "And you?" Zircon asked. Zarkonian looked at his report again. "If I send this, more will come. The Federation will send ship after ship to investigate." "Good," Peterson said. "We have plenty of apartments available. The new Kurathan restaurant needs customers. The Tyrannix are starting a farmer's market next month. You want the entire Federation to come?" We want the entire galaxy to come, Sarah said. Not to conquer it, but to have the biggest, most inclusive community party in history. Imagine it. Every species sharing food, sharing stories, sharing life. Zarkonian sent his report. Then he added a personal note. I'm requesting extended leave to conduct deeper research. Also, please tell my family to visit. My neighbor Jung-hoon makes excellent kimchi, and they would love the gardens here. 6 months later, another Federation ship arrived. Captain Morvek, known for her suspicion and tactical brilliance, commanded it. She came prepared for anything, except for Zarkonian greeting her at the dock, wearing an apron that said, "Kiss the cook," in 40 languages. "Captain Morvok," Zarkonian called cheerfully. Perfect timing. The Tyranics are teaching a cooking class on sustainable protein cultivation. Also, the apartment next to mine just opened up. 3 rooms, nice view of the garden dome, and Minjun's bakery delivers fresh bread every morning. Morvek's tactical mind tried to process this. Zarkonian? You're cooking? With the Tyranics? The world devourers? Former world devourers, Sarah corrected, appearing with her usual welcome basket. They're farmers now. Very enthusiastic about composting. Welcome to human space. Would you like some coffee? We have tea too. Oh, and Jung-hoon just made fresh kimchi. As Morvak was led into the station, her crew already eyeing the restaurants and shops, Zarkonian smiled. He understood now. Humans hadn't conquered the galaxy with weapons or technology. They had done something far more powerful. They had made everyone family, and family always stays for dinner.